Hey, you guys, Dr. Nicole here, and we're going to talk about why you might need a squatty potty. All right. So, a lot of people might think that this is kind of a little gimmicky, like, really? It was started on Shark Tank. Do we really need that? What's this big craze? Well, there's actually a scientific reason why the squatty potty works, right? So basically what the squatty potty is a stool, right? It's a, no pun intended. It is a stool in order to get your knees above your hips and essentially mimic a squat position. Now, many of us probably would have a difficult time actually squatting all the way down like that, like some cultures do across the world. Us here in America, if you're watching this from another country, you might actually do this. Or in some of these other westernized countries, we actually sit on toilets. Toilets are actually really not great for your pelvic floor because they open up what we call the thigh torso angle. So the angle between your torso and your thighs is actually quite open. Maybe it's at 90, but it certainly isn't at this angle that getting your knees above your hips does. And so squatting isn't just because it looks funny, right? Squatting actually helps your pelvic floor muscle actually relax fully. So the literal position of a squat where your knees come up your hips, it actually opens this area and allows these muscles to open. And especially when in this case we're talking about pooping, it allows both the external anal sphincter and a muscle here, this in this horseshoe shape called your puborectalis, to relax. And when that relaxes, it allows the poop essentially to come down the chute a lot easier. And to give you another little visual about that, I want you to visualize how this, right, goes from your pubic bone, slings back around your rectum to the opposite pubic bone, right? So you can kind of see it here. It goes pubic bone, slings around the rectal opening here, right? So what it's really doing, and this is, I've taken the rectum out now. So now I want you to imagine the pubic bone is now up here and it's slinging around the rectal canal and rectal opening, right? So that's what it was. The pubic bone was up here. Now we're like this. When it's at its normal tension, it makes this angle of the rectum like pretty good, right? So it makes it harder for something to come out. So if you have a condition where the pelvic floor is really lax or loose, then that angle is a little bit more of a straight shoot out. And you might have something like more close to fecal incontinence, right? Where stuff just starts to come out and your pelvic floor isn't able to like close off those openings very well. A lot of us have what's the opposite is, right? Where this muscle is too tight and it actually makes this angle even more kinked. Well, what normally happens when we sit on the toilet seat without the squatty potty is that doesn't get a very good relaxation. So it still stays taut. And now the chute isn't that straight. It's kind of only a little bit straight. So it's just harder for your bowels to empty fully. So what the squatty potty does is actually assist in this relaxation phase so that the rectum is a better chute out of the pelvic floor. So we as pelvic floor physical therapists will oftentimes give people squat stretches and things that can open up the pelvic floor. But then when we get to the actual toilet from a functional standpoint, it's really hard to get in that same position. So that's why the squatty potty is really helpful. And frankly, I don't really care if it's the squatty potty itself. I like this one in particular because it's cute and wood and it doesn't look like plasticky. And this actually gives a one height this way and then one height this way. So it's actually kind of 2 in 1 depending on the height of your toilet and how tall you are. So that's the physiological reason why we want you to be using the squatty potty. And frankly, every single person needs to be using it. It just puts your pelvis and your pelvic floor in a better position to have fully complete bowel movements. But if you are noticing that you're, number one, still having a problem after you're using the squatty potty, or you're just not sure if that's the right thing for you still, please make sure to get to a pelvic floor physical therapist that can actually assess whether or not this issue is happening and how that might be affecting your other pelvic floor functions. Thanks for watching. Go get a squatty potty.